worried. I'm worried this is going to be like somewhere we're going to hurt someone's feelings or something like that. But here we go. All right, we're back. And as you know, we usually stagger a week on these recordings, and we just drank a hazmat whiskey as our entry buzz, basically. So the re-entry buzz should be pretty fun. We are drinking Who Knows? And so we'll get into that in a moment. You know how the rules go. You know how the guessing goes. You know how the notes go. Let's get into this, shall we? I might not have poured enough, but I guess that's enough.
Oh, I poured enough.
All right.
Yours looks more orange than mine. What the heck?
Well, mine has an orange bottom to this thing, so maybe that's affecting it.
Wait.
This is the corn blah.
Can you even set that thing down? What the heck?
Yes, it is high, top heavy though.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
man, that's nuts.
Speaking of nuts, this smells super nutty. No,
it is very light in color. I'll say that. Oh boy, I just have no idea what this is. I'm all blown out. I just drank Stag 139.9 and then Garrison 140.9.
My episode.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going for a sip.
Yeah, sounds good.
What is that?
Yeah, something very familiar here.
All right. I have a lot of notes, but I'm not going to talk about them until after break. But I will tell you how much I'd pay for this. Well, let me take another quick sip. No, it's only one sip.
Yep. First sip. That's it.
60. I like it, but there's something about it that's making me say 60.
I don't like it.
Oh, really?
I think I would pay. Honestly, I might even have a little heartburn if I paid 40 for this. I think I'm going to go like 35.
Okay. You went with the 245, right?
225 on the driftless.
That's right. Wait, no. On the bottle number, you went up. You didn't go down, right?
Correct. This is bottle number 245.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we'll talk about notes, and we'll talk about our guesses. So here we go to break. We're back, and Brian and I are both flabbergasted. There's a few things that I do know about this whiskey, and I guess I'll get to them right now. I'll talk about my notes. I said on the nose, a very light nose, and so when I first sipped this, I got vibes of like, and I took a small sip on the first sip before we went to break. I got vibes of like a rye and like a little bit of bright. But the more I sipped it, the more I realized that this is a very light whiskey. I said very light nose, not very aged on the nose. On the palate, I said this is like aged vodka. And what I mean by that is not a lot of flavor, but like a weird buttery oakiness to it, basically. I said very lacking on strong notes, very low, or really low proof. Might be a rye, but it's a very weak rye, if so. On the finish, I said continuation of that aged vodka kind of finish that I talked about earlier. I said sweet and a little bit of bubblegum, but in a very weak way.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
On the palate or on the notes. So what'd you get on the notes?
Yeah, my notes are weird. I got a little poetic on the nose here. I said that it was a dichotomy of floral honey, like some floral honey.
See that 100%.
But at the same time, like charcoal.
Okay.
Just like
it's light that way. Yeah.
Bitterness with some like light stuff, so some light sweetness going on. On the palate, the floral carried over and some bitterness carried over, back side of the tongue bitterness. But it was like very creamy overall. So like creamy, floral, bitter. And then on the finish, I said like a small distillery, youthy burn, but not a high ABV burn at all. Because I'm absolutely with you on the low proof,
Yeah.
but just a kind of like a small distillery, like a
It's like a bite.
soapy
Okay.
creaminess.
I
The
could see that.
soapy creaminess is almost kind of like that sums up the whole thing, is soapy creaminess to me.
Yeah. I'm worried. I'm worried this is going to be like somewhere we're going to hurt someone's feelings or something like that. But here we go. I'll talk about my guesses real
Yeah.
quick. I took a stab here and just went with my gut and said maybe this is a rye. I said secondary grain was corn. Proof, I said 86. I wouldn't be surprised if this is 80 proof. It is very light. Age, I said 2. And that's going to be close. I am sure of that one. If it has an age statement, it's going to be darn close to that, if not less than that. I said it's not finished, and I picked a bottle that maybe I poured, and I said Pinhook high proof rye, even though it doesn't make sense with the high proof. I was like, it just reminds me of something that just needs a little more oomph. I gave it a score of a 7.4, C minus. And C minus we typically say is like something's off with this one. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm very curious to hear what you went with.
Okay. So my guess is, so for type, I really like, I feel very good about the idea of this being like corn based, because there's
Yeah,
like corn sweetness there, with malty bees
multi
secondary.
bees.
Like the soapy creaminess,
Yeah,
I feel like this is like a, I don't know, 15 to 20%, or 15 or more percent
multi bees.
malted barley.
Uh,
um but like it does taste just basic corn, basic
yeah,
malted barley.
it does actually
Still,
taste like basic corn.
yeah, right, yeah.
Good point.
if
Looking
there
at
if
it
like
now, it's like this is like light mellow corn.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like,
Yeah, mhm.
now I know, I just happen to know that we don't have mellow corn in here, and
Yeah,
I hadn't even thought of this earlier. But like now that you mention it, like
mhm.
mellow corn feels like hell yeah, I would have voted mellow
Yeah.
corn
Over
over that.
this,
I
yeah.
don't know. Anyway, but that like kind of soapy creaminess,
Hmm.
it reminded me of Starlight Distillery.
Okay.
Sorry, I did like
Never
Starlight
had
back in the
Starlight.
day, but
Uh-huh.
wait, Starlight. I meant to say the Australia one.
Oh, Starward.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what it reminded me of. So that's what we'll
Really?
go with. Starward. I'm
Okay.
officially changing my
Yeah,
guess
that's
mid
fine. I'll
round here.
allow it.
Starward, because it's clearly what I meant.
Uh,
Proof, I bottomed out and I went ahead and said 80.
80. Yeah.
Because this is the least alcohol I've ever tasted on alcohol before. So
It's like vodka minus some. Like
yep.
that's how I feel about this
And
one.
that
Yeah.
creaminess too that you get sometimes with
Hmm.
vodka. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Like a
So
good vodka,
yeah. I
but also a bad whiskey.
Now that I think about it, I should have hedged my bets a little bit and maybe guessed 82, 83, so that I could be on the top side a little bit. But
Yeah.
uh age, I was super low. I said 3 years.
Nice.
Finished, absolutely not. There's nothing
Yeah.
else going on with this
Nothing
thing.
here.
And then I hedged my bets a little bit on bottle. I went with a Stranahan's original.
Nice. Hmm.
For score though, I said 6, and I gave this a
Nice.
D. I said that this,
Ooh,
in my
straight
opinion,
D.
this clearly stands out as being bad.
What was your score? D's
6.
nuts.
God.
Anyway,
You got me.
why don't
You
we
got me.
just pull this out and
Oh,
we'll reveal. Let me see if I can find where the label is. There it is.
okay.
Oh, feels like a Brian Rap label.
Painted blue painter's tape.
It feels
Yeah,
like it. You ready?
yeah, yeah.
Ooh, Caribou Crossing,
Oh my god.
which I remember liking, but
Oh
now
no.
that I've done a blind, I don't like it.
Oh, that's so funny.
Um, it makes sense. Everything matches up. Corn, light, and I hate to say it, bro, esquitosois, Canadian, and Jason Preston, and all of our Canadian listeners, but that adds up. So we'll be right back. We'll do some, some judgment on how we're going to score this, but we'll be back and see who won. Well, scores are in, and Brian and I agree. Very aged vodka-y. But one of us came out of the winner. And so let's go through that. So funny thing about Caribou Crossing, it's Canadian blend out of Sazerac as the parent company. But the funny thing is there's not a lot that's available. They don't have an age statement. They don't have a mash bill. They don't have things like secondary grain or, the only type we could have gotten there was just mentioning that's Canadian whiskey. So let's go through it real quick. The type, Canadian whiskey, which is a nebulous category to begin with, but neither Cole nor Bryan got that. Cole said rye, Bryan said American whiskey. And then we said secondary grain. I said corn. Bryan said malty B. Probably a good guess at that malty B. But the fact is that they have no mash bill given online. So 0 points across the board so far. The distillery, I said Pinhook. Bryan said Starward. Neither of those were right. It is if I feel like if you said like Sazerac, it would have got, but no one's gonna write down Sazerac.
Right.
Proof. This is where it all came down to. I said 86. Bryan said 80. It was 80 proof. Bryan got 5 points. I was just outside of the range of getting points for that one. And age, no age statement on this. So that is 0 points as well. Is it finished? Bryan and I can very much guess very truly that this is not finished at all. In fact, if it's finished in a barrel for a day. That's kind of how it felt.
Yeah. And why would a distillery finish something and then not say that it was finished? It's
exactly.
No, we don't want people to know that this was.
Yeah. Especially with something like this. So we both got that right. We'll consider it. So that's 2 points for both of us. I said Pinhook high proof rye as my bottle guess. Bryan said Stranahan's standard original. Neither of us got that right. So in the end, it all came down to the proof. Bryan gets a score of 7. Cole gets a score of 2. So Bryan is the big winner this week on a Canadian blend from Sazerac. So well done,
Shout
Bryan.
out to David Lipinski, beautiful
Nice.
Patreon member, who the only reason I have this bottle is because at Total Wine one morning, he knew that I was like interested in it, and we went in, and it was the last one, and I was behind him, and he was like, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "All right, you can have it."
Nice.
And then ever since then, it's like this joke in the group of like, "Well, Bryan loves Caribou, so."
So yeah, I remember we did an episode on Caribou Crossing, and I remember liking it. The funny thing is, it is a single barrel. So that's maybe it was a better single barrel, but this is not good in my opinion. So maybe if I remember poorly or I had a bad day or I've just grown in my palate, I do not like this whiskey. So if you're thinking, man, Cole could really use a Caribou Crossing in his collection, maybe think twice. So, but well done, Bryan. Well done indeed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. This is the game we play, is getting all the guesses, hedging right, and all that stuff is pretty fun. So hope you guys enjoyed with us. We're going to close it out here. But thanks for joining us on the Reentry Buzz. Bryan's up 2 for the season. I got 1. Or he's up 1. He's got a score of 2. I got a score of 1. We'll see how next week goes. We'll see you guys next time on the Reentry Buzz. What was your score? D's nuts.
God.